Welcome back to Echo Beat Podcast. Today we have Alta Medium. Is that correct? Alta Medium?
You got it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, ultimatum. Yeah, you got it.
Yeah. So welcome back, everybody. Today we're sitting down with a band whose journey started in high school and grew into something much bigger, from early jam sessions in Thunder Bay to competitions, live shows, and multiple releases. Ultimatum have built their sound step by step. Now they're stepping into a new era with fresh music and a growing global reach. Let's get into it and welcome Ala. This tongue twister. Alamedum. sorry. But yeah, hi guys.
Ultimatum.
Ultimatum. So I always get that wrong. I always forget the T.
That's good.
Ultimatum. Yeah. Okay. How you guys doing today?
Good. Thank you for having us.
Yeah,
Appreciate being here.
I'm-
Sorry for the early time zone for you, but
Oh, that's okay. I'm a vampire sometimes. It's okay. It's okay.
that's okay.
um, Take us back to the start of how did Ultimatum first come together? Like, what was the conception of your unifying?
Yeah, I can probably answer that. Yeah, I was in grade 9 in Thunder Bay High School. We went to Westgate High School, and I was very obsessed with a guitar. So my dad was a big fan of music and not a musician himself, but that's kind of what inspired me to pick up the guitar. And then my good friend also got a guitar around the same time. So he and I both had kind of a healthy competition as to who could get better faster, and he was getting really good. So that was good motivation. And then I think around grade 9, grade 10, I decided to kind of expand. I was writing a lot of original ideas, just kind of riffs and licks as a guitar player, and was in search of a drummer, right? Because I thought that was the next natural step. So not here today, but Brendan Byers is our drummer, and he's been with me ever since grade 9, grade 10, so over half of our lifetime. But yeah, that was excellent, and I remember having him over and just getting really excited, because when he and I would jam and kind of bring ideas together, it would evolve into something new and fresh that I couldn't do by myself, right? So and we knew we needed to expand, because at that point we were kind of hungry to grow a band, and that's where James's involvement started as well. We met, I think, in grade 10, and I caught word that he had a bass guitar. So that was enough, because we didn't know anyone else who had a bass. But no, James was someone who we hit it off like instantly. So we were a bit of a three-piece for the longest time, and doing a lot of covers, like trying to figure out what our own sound could be, essentially just through these cover songs. And we liked a lot of the similar artists at the time, so that kind of allowed us to expand into our own sound. And then we had another singer at the time. We had a few different members that are no longer with us, but we won a few, like you said, won a few competitions, last band standings in Thunder Bay. We played the live scene a lot in our teen years, like 17 to 19, we played probably couple hundred shows. And that allowed us to also kind of carve out our original sound. And then our producer joined. We're fortunate enough to have Russ Elder, who's James's uncle, actually, and he has a studio. His basement's designed to be a studio, so we go there and record music, and once again allowed us to evolve. And then most recently, a few years back, we were seeking a new vocalist, and we found Dre through the local scene, and definitely thought he had a lot of potential. He hadn't written any original music at that point, but I liked his attitude.
You scouted, or did you put an ad out, or?
No, it was interesting.
Tell him.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I've been
This is
talking
a
a
good
lot.
story.
I'll let James explain this part, because yeah.
It was a bit of an interesting problem to solve. I mean, like you're asking someone to come in and not only fill a crucial role in a band. Like as the bass player, I can sit here and say, like, if you have to replace a bass player, yeah, you can probably do it and no one's going to notice. But to go out and find a singer, someone that's going to kind of be, at times the focal point for maybe like a live performance, something like that. It's a big role. We took it pretty seriously. We didn't want to just, choose our best buddy that was hanging around that could sing or something like that. We wanted to go out there and find someone that had done it before and that we could work with. So we had like a bit of a project we put together where we did a couple of covers, kind of going back to how we started, and brought in a few different really talented people from around the local scene, and it was great because we got to work with some new faces, we got to see some new perspectives, and end of the day we were just really blown away by what Dre brought to the table. Checked all the boxes, and fortunately for us, he was willing to jump on board, and it's been that way ever since.
Hey, yes.
Yeah, it's been good.
I
It's
like
been good.
it.
I was honored.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Totally.
I didn't know it at the time. It was a hidden audition. When I was recording my covers with them, at the time I had no idea I was being. I
That's the
thought it
best
was just
way.
kind
That's
of
the
a.
best way, That's the best way to
I
go
thought it
about
was just
it.
kind of a one and done thing, and then they asked me, and I said, "Oh, so this was a secret audition?" And I said,
Yeah.
well, "I
Nice.
give it all I got then."
Nice. 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 All right. Okay. Sorry, I cut out the breaks in between. Sorry.
All good. Yeah.
The next question is, uh, what made you take it seriously beyond just jamming as friends, like, or even like, like local or family? When and like, what was the like, okay, we're gonna do this. Yeah.
It was building blocks, I would say. Like initially, it was like our scope was pretty small. We just wanted to play local live shows, right? We got a big charge out of how the audience responded to our music. Very intoxicating.
Yeah, once
Um,
enough. Yeah. I mean, one
yeah,
audience, but one listener is enough always. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's all it
exactly.
takes is one listener.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then it flourished, and then we kind of like we were doing this like almost every weekend. At one point, we're like, okay, like what is beyond this, right? Like, this is exciting, it's cool. We have a studio, we can record music. That was the next step, I guess, is to record and just to share that with people who are in our inner circle, friends, family. And then we went on a tour of Ontario in Canada, our province, and we went east. So we went to some of the larger cities, Ottawa, Toronto. And that was really good too, but it was just more of the same, right? It was more of like,
Quick question. How did you organize gigs in the cities that you went on tour for? Did you
James and I, James and I sat down and
yeah,
yeah, yeah,
like,
we arranged everything because we didn't have a lot of resources at the time to be able to kind of pull from. Like we didn't have PR or a label or anything at the time. So James and I sat down with a map
yeah.
and we had a list of venues, and we started calling the venues, and we started to create a timeline. And this tour was in support of our second album that we recorded at Thunder Sound Studio with our producer Russ Elder and Levels, and that was kind of the breakthrough album for us because we came back home after the tour, and we got a call from a magazine in LA that wanted to do an interview with us, and that was like, oh wow, this we thought it was spam or something, right? But it was legitimate. And shortly thereafter, there was an organization in Cincinnati that wanted to represent us, and then shortly thereafter, we got signed to our record label in
Mm.
Reading, Pennsylvania, which is an American record label. And then from there, we got our first airplay on Scottish rock radio, and that just kind of like blew our minds, right? And now that became very like the focus, almost like to a relentless degree, because I was loving sharing our music with more of an international audience. So we just doubled down, and COVID offered a bit of we had to get creative with how we continued on through that time. So did a lot of conversations like we're having now. Actually, we did a lot of podcasts, radio stations, magazines, and
That was the only way.
took off.
The only way.
Yeah,
It happened. It happened. Connection was kept. Yeah.
yeah, and it's it's one of those things, like I think first and foremost we're artists, right? We create art through music, and we're very passionate about what we do. and we want to share that with as large of an audience as possible, right? So that's kind of our what drives us, is we create stuff that we love, and we know there's an audience out there like us that will love it too. So we're trying to reach those people.
Yeah. Share the experience. Yeah,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Do you remember the moment you realized you could actually go somewhere? Like, was there a moment like where, was it when you had a silent audition? Like, was there a moment where you're like, aha, like, I knew this was meant to be.
Well, I knew it was meant to be the first time I stepped into that studio, to be completely honest.
Hey, what to do this? What to do this?
I think our chemistry was just so, it was it was weirdly perfect for someone like me who's like had no studio experience, and just to kind of go in and like I remember Cam asked me, "Do you have any like song ideas, or have you ever tried writing any music?" And I was like I've thought about it, but I've never really kind of put it forward. And then he's like, "Okay, here's a guitar. Show me what you got." And I'm like, okay, sure." So we just worked together, and like an hour and a half later, we had our first single called "Call to Me." Well, first
Hour and
single
a
was like,
half. Wow.
and from that, I was like, wow, like we could actually, like, our chemistry's good, so we can actually take this somewhere. So that's my answer for that. I don't know if they have something different, but I felt it from day one.
From day one, nice, nice. Do you guys have any
Mine goes further back. I felt it from the moment that Brendan and I got together, and we put a couple notes back to back, and it was interesting because it transcended, like we didn't have to speak. We could just, as long as I had my instrument, he had his instrument, we were in the same room together. We had a unique chemistry where we could play for half an hour straight and just do this instrumental, and not it just be completely original, and it would just line up so beautifully, right? It was this weird chemistry that he and I had, and I've always wanted to preserve that at all cost, right? So I knew that if we're going to add to this thing, we're going to invest in this thing that we've built, but we have to be strategic now with who we include moving forward, because we don't want to diminish the thing that we've built. So anything we add to that has to flow nicely with what we've created, because if it doesn't, there's going to be that conflict, right? So that was the other unique kind of thing that we faced when it came to Dre, is that here's this person who, is a great attitude, very willing to learn and grow and write, but he has no experience in a studio. He has no experience writing music, right? So we kind of felt like this is maybe starting from ground one again, but that wasn't the case at all. Like, it was like, an echo chamber of growth. Dre came in, like I said, fortunate to have the studio. He had the right attitude, and he just grew in a very short time, right? So yeah, I guess that's a long answer, but I think,
Yeah.
yeah, for me it was initial. It was instant. It was the moment that Brendan and I were in the same room together, and you
Yeah.
know,
Meant to be.
yeah, yeah.
Uh, you started off doing instrumentals. How did adding vocals change your sound? Yeah, how did it change the experience? Yeah, that's a very broad question, but yeah, like what do you think was is the like the defining difference from instrumental to vocals in delivering, I guess, the message in your music?
Go ahead, Jimmy. I feel like this is a you question.
Well, I was gonna say I remember doing more covers initially. I don't remember a ton of instrumental work. Like we would fiddle with um, different pieces of writing and putting little sections or riffs together. But I don't know if we ever really had any like monumental instrumental time in our formative days. Like we were pretty cover heavy. Initially, like I know like our first vocalist was reluctant, like wasn't really something that he was comfortable doing. It was just kind of like someone has to do it, and he took that on. Kudos. But it was, one of those processes where as we started doing more in terms of covering other artists, we had, or I had anyway, like a real desire to try to capture a certain message and put words together in a certain way that was more coming from our voice instead of trying to, replicate someone else's message. And once that happened, like there was just a clear need to, really dedicate ourselves to finding people that could do that job specifically, can take a message and convey it. So, I mean, our second singer and to Dre's credit, like I found they both have a wonderful ability to harness vocals and take their writing in a direction that allows them to present whatever that message may be. We've covered so many different topics over the years, and it's just there's such a skill involved with taking an idea and making it into a song, because it's not just words at that point. Like there's a flow, there's a feeling to it, there's rhyming aspects you have to consider. It's very challenging to take something and get deep enough with it to again convey a message, but still keep it in a world of entertainment where you're producing something that's pleasurable to the ear. And yeah, kudos. Like it's a crazy tough job, and couldn't be happier with what we're getting right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jim.
Especially making a message resonate the same to everybody is difficult as well. It's very difficult.
Really.
Yeah, like we can tell how people look at what you said, how they look at it, you know what I mean? Yeah, it's a gift to be able to communicate a message to a mass. Yeah. What were those early performances like in local venues? How was it? Like, was it a thrill? Was it
Powerful, exhilarating, and chaotic all in one
chaotic?
show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. We had about was it a year ago? We had our, I think it was about a year ago, probably.
Yeah,
We
next
had
month.
our next month it'll be a year. We had our first album with me. We had a kind of an album release party at a local venue, and we had like I think 3 or 4 other local acts, and it was an unbelievable night. A lot of people, a lot of dancing, a lot of different styles of music. So we kind of hit everyone's favorite.
Have you ever
And
stage dived or anything?
say that again, sorry.
Have you ever stage dived or anything like in the
Well, I've done it all. I have done it all. I have done it all. That's a topic for another interview, but no, it was a great night. It was
Yeah.
and that's all. Yeah.
So how did those first competitions shape your confidence, or were you naturally born confident, or like
I am naturally born confident.
yeah, I'm borderline.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm borderline.
Yeah.
Those competitions. I don't know if confidence is the right word. I think maybe just childish in terms of our development at the time, right? I think we felt like we had something to prove. We were very hungry. So it was that translated well. We were very aggressive on stage. We always kind of thought about, we kind of tackled, I think like our past vocalist and I, we would chat a lot about, how we would show up on stage and what we would do, how we would form the set list. Like, we had, like, it was always very intentional. It was always important to kind of get the crowd involved, right? Because the crowd's a part of the show. I think a lot of artists maybe forget that part, is it's not just us putting on a show, it's us celebrating together music, right? So if there's no audience, there's no show there. So there's that too, right? So they're a vital part of the process. But the last band standing ones, I mean, the thing about music, I mean, it's an art form, right? So it's subjective. So I didn't put a lot of stock into like where we placed in that. Obviously, we wanted to win every competition we were in because we're competitive and we're confident, like you mentioned, right? But at the same time, we were just figuring it out ourselves, right? We were just trying to write music, and so the fact that we placed, so well at that time, it was good. And I mean, it also allowed Russ, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, came to one of those shows, our producer, and he heard that was like the first time he heard us play live. Like I think James sent him a recording of us, and But that was the first experience actually meeting him, was at one of these last band standing competition things. So it was good, but it was great exposure, I think, for us. But it was, the way we looked at it, it was just another show, right? We play every show like we want to blow off, that every other artist. And every band and artist should have that mindset, right?
Yeah.
And it's not, we're all part of the same community, but we should all go in there like we're out for blood, right?
Yeah, because individually we all can get it in our own authentic, unique self way. You get me? Like there's enough for everybody, Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Uh how what did competing in last band standing mean for you? Like like uh I would say like how could I, because you explained, you tapped into this just then a little bit, but like
Mhm.
by like what did it mean for you? Like was it like what shaped your career?
No, not at all. It was, if anything, it was more of just a blip in time. Like,
Okay.
yeah, it wasn't something that shaped us. It was a cool opportunity, a cool experience. We don't see a lot of that anymore. Like we don't have, like, I don't, at least I'm not aware of it, right? Like that happening in town. I think that was kind of a unique thing that happened at that time in Thunder Bay.
Yeah.
So it was cool that we were able to be, a part of that thing. If anything, like I said, it just made us a little bit more competitive when it comes to, like, we've been fortunate enough to play with some artists that we really respect, right? Like we've had some really cool opportunities. And our goal, it doesn't matter how long they've been around or how seasoned they are. Our goal is always, let's give them a run for their money, whether we're headlining, whether we're opening, it doesn't matter. We're going to go out there. We're going to give the best performance we've ever given.
I guess
And we're going to try to, yeah, we're going to, it's like like a sports team, right? Like a sports event. We're going to go in there with that level of, competition and trying to, and then it just makes for a really good show for everyone who came, right? If everyone's giving it their all, it turns into a great lineup, and then, everyone has a great time, right? So
yeah.
that's how it shaped. I think that's how it shaped my mindset, is like I go in there, with the intent of trying to do the best show we've ever done, right? So
Yeah, nice. Um finishing second by such a small margin, how did that impact you? Or you weren't really worried about ranking?
that, that was the first one, because we won the second one. First
Okay.
one we came. Yeah, no, not really. I mean,
You weren't
um,
just, yeah.
yeah, politics.
Yeah, politics,
Like,
of
that's what
course.
anyone says who doesn't win, right? But yeah, no, I don't know. Yeah, it was one of those things. We were so young at the time. I think we were, I don't even know, 18 or 19 or something. So it wasn't really a big thing. I think we were just happy to be a part of it and happy to play so high at the time.
Okay, sorry. Um, uh, so I lost my question, sorry. When you recorded your first album, how did that shift your mindset?
Jimmy.
It just I think, I don't know if it changed the mindset. I think all that really did was allow us to reach a wider audience, reach a wider demographic of people that might be into what we're doing. I know that for myself, making music and playing with these guys has always been about what we get out of it. And if somebody else likes it, fantastic. That's awesome. If somebody else doesn't like it, no hard feelings. But I'm going to keep doing it because
What
I
part of
enjoy
your
it.
track?
So
Part of your track?
yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, just, I mean, allowing ourselves to be able to kind of harness it, put what we were doing at that time in one place, kind of bottle it, and then give it to whoever wants to hear it and get it out there. Just really made it feel like it was bigger than the 4 or 5 people in the room at the time. It gave us a sense of, we don't know who is listening out there. So the next album we have to, be that much better, because again, you never know who's listening and who's paying attention, and you want to continually strive to be better. So that first one definitely set the standard, definitely set, like what we expected of ourselves out of maybe like what the future might hold. But yeah, I don't think it really changed our mindset. It just really opened a lot of doors.
Yeah. Um, I'm gonna take an intermission here. I'm gonna cut this part out.
That mess up your flow of your show?
No, because I'm gonna edit it right. Yeah, because
Okay.
I take out gas. Okay. Okay. How do you describe your sound today as opposed to before? Not just the changing from instrumentals or covers or whatnot, but like the actual sound or vibe.
Uh,
It's a sound is a broad different description, but like yeah, the vibe or the sound or the how's it different? What's the evolution?
yeah, that's a hard question. That's always been a hard question. I think our sound, like our sound, I think is like a melting pot of all of our different influences.
Mhm.
And so, Dre, like even just between Dre and I, we have a lot of different influences. Some of them overlap, but
Hmm.
that's really cool because then they seep their way into our songwriting. I guess I just classify us as kind of like rock or hard rock
Yeah.
or even alternative rock. You could go that route as well, even though that's pretty broad. Yeah, it's we try to do something. We naturally it just comes off as something that's a little bit familiar based on our influences, but it also has like kind of a unique ultimatum spin on it because we have just kind of created our own voice within our instruments. So
Yeah.
when Brendan plays the drums, you can tell that's Brendan, or me playing the guitar, Dre singing, playing the guitar as well. So it's yeah, I'd say it's just like it's hard rock, right? It's hard rock, and we try to, we've been told that we have a very kind of unique signature sound that's kind of, interwoven into the sound there. So
Yeah. So I was just checking if it's coming. No, 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 it's your thing. Um, what what inspires your songwriting the most? I guess question.
I can answer that one, Cam. Um, I like to, my lyrics kind of come deep, and a lot of my lyrics, I want them to kind of, when you're listening to my lyrics, I want you to kind of zone out and almost feel the lyrics, if that makes sense. I want them to be kind of powerful and emotional.
Yeah.
That's just kind of, that comes back to my influence where I'm a big, grew up. My dad was big on the '80s kind of metal, hair metal stuff.
Yeah.
So that was kind of how I grew up. But as I got older, I kind of changed to more of the punk 2000s kind of stuff, like Green Day,
Oh, yeah.
kind of that era. So if you listen to any of the songs I wrote, you can hear a heavy 2000s influence.
Who?
And go ahead, sir.
No, what did you say? I missed the last two words you said.
Oh, I was saying a lot of my lyrics are heavy with the 2000s kind of alternative rock
Wow.
influence.
Okay, okay, nice.
Um, and I'm a big sucker for deep and emotional kind of songs.
Yeah, that touched the soul.
Yeah, yeah. So, and that is definitely coming out on this next album. That's coming out very soon. You'll hear there's some deep kind of 2000s influence heavy
And
on this album.
where, like, with your idea, okay, let's say I said to you, you got 1 week or 24 hours to write a track. Where do you summon the creativity from? Is it life experience or is it a melody or is it tapping your fingers? What's your
Dre,
That's a
thing?
before
great
you,
question.
Oh,
Go
James
ahead.
is
okay,
ready.
admit.
All good. Hold that thought.
There he is. There
There you
he
go.
is.
Go ahead, Dre.
Hey, sorry about that.
There he is back.
Yeah,
I was saying if I have 24 hours to write a song, honestly, I go to kind of what I'm feeling in that moment and I take it from there.
yeah, nice,
And I like to kind of dig through some past experiences and kind of let them out that way and try to get it on paper.
nice.
That's
That's
my style.
that's a tidy. Pull out the ether and just create.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay. Um, do songs? Oh, I would ask that. How do you decide which song makes it into onto a project? Or you're like me, I think every song of mine is perfect.
Well, we do. We end up finishing songs and we end up saying, "Oh, that's the best song in the album," and then we'll write another one, and that one's gonna be
That's
the
the best
best
one.
song in the album.
Uh,
But I think we just kind of go with the flow. We kind of like to keep um, like the album kind of structured around the same style,
Yeah.
but obviously sometimes it doesn't happen. But that's kind of what I feel like we try to do.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think
That's fair.
we had an album. I think it was our third album where we kind of took a different approach and wrote a bunch of songs and then kind of narrowed it down and made a final cut that way. And then what ended up happening was we had these 3 or 4 songs kind of lying around, and we thought, well, now what? Like, do they just disappear? And that didn't feel right either. And we kind of ended up making like a version of the album, like a deluxe version, and just included them in that like 6 months later. And I think ever since then, it's like there's definitely a reason to have that approach if you are in a position where maybe time is a resource. Maybe you have to kind of throw everything at the wall and see what sticks, and then make a decision from that. But for us, I think we're very fortunate with our closeness, our relationship with the studio, with our producer, that we can kind of look at albums um, less as work and more of like a snapshot. This is where we are right now. This is the band today. And take 10, 12 songs, put them together, and they're cohesive because they're all being born around the same time. And then if there is something that's egregious that like really doesn't stand out, then we can make a decision at that point. Maybe we'll release that by itself, and it can do its own thing as a single, and we can move forward with the project. But I think overall, like, yeah, we really don't have a lot of experience with having to make those tough choices with should it not be on the album. It's just more of a, hey, this is us right now, and take it or leave it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
The other thing too is like to James's point too, like there was times where he wrote an influx of different songs, but I think once again we try to be a little bit more leverage strategic intent when it comes to writing music. Like we kind of go into it with like, just no preconceived idea. Let's see what happens. We'll all get in the room together. Like to James's point too, we have the luxury of having a studio where we're not having to pay, a ridiculous, we're not under the gun, so we have that working for us as well. And then so maybe we write a harder song, we write a softer song, we write like, a faster song. And as we start collecting these ideas, they go on this dry erase board in our studio. And then as we start looking at this list, we start to put things into order, right? As we start adding to that, we say, okay, that's track 1, track 10, track. And then as we're, when let's say we have 3 more gaps on the board, then we can say, okay, what's missing from the board, right? What is it? Do we need to write down a stripped down ballad? Do we need, like, what's missing from the album based on our current material, right? So this album that's coming out in April, next month already, actually almost a month to the day we're releasing our full length album. Very excited. It's a self-titled. It's called Ultimatum, just self-titled album. First time we've done that, and that's exactly the writing process. When it came to that, it was, okay, let's put this here. Okay, what do we need here? Like, so we're almost like we're building something right out of building blocks, and we, if one doesn't fit, we either say, why is it not fitting, so we readdress the song, or we discard it and say that doesn't belong, right? Like to James's point, maybe that's a single, maybe that belongs on the next project, or it goes in the, we call it the vault, for maybe a later project, right? So we try not to let a lot go to waste, but at the same time, we don't just want to write an influx of songs for the sake of putting out an album. We want it to be, like I said, very strategic, right? So
yeah, nice. Okay, so we were talking a bit about the album that's coming out. What do you expect people expect from this next phase? Like, is there a surprise of the way you're presenting yourself differently, or it's like you've already mentioned that you've got a packed, like, what connection did you say, like a journey of your music that fit in like correctly. So what do you yeah, I guess expect your fans to experience? Like, what's your destination with it?
We wanted to stretch the fabric of this album a little bit more. Like we wanted to be a little bit more dramatic. So we wanted the hard elements to be a little harder. We wanted the ballads to be a little bit more subdued, softer, emotional. So we really want the listener to go through this emotional journey. So the album is designed as an album to listen to from start to finish, right? Each song has its own place and can be listened to in an isolated fashion. But if you listen to the album in its entirety, or anyways, when I listen, I can speak for myself. When I listen to the album in its entirety, I go through this emotional roller coaster of, here's fast paced, here's heavy, here's soft, here's melodic, here's so we've pulled from a lot of different styles of music and a lot of our different influences. So I find this album maybe to be one of the more emotional albums that we've written. Um,
Hmm.
in that sense, right? We incorporate some piano, some keys. We're playing with sounds. We have a song on the album that actually doesn't feature drums, and I think that's one of the few times we've done that, right? Like I said, we've really tried to stretch the fabric of what we're capable of doing as songwriters at this moment in time.
Nice, nice, nice. Um, what's the story behind your latest
High
single,
and dry. Was it high and dry?
singles, huh? Your latest,
Singles.
Singles?
you've been dropping singles, yes. What's the story behind them?
Well,
Like,
so our first single was Legends, Legends in Stereo.
That was our
How
second
long has it
one.
been out? Second one. What was our first one, Callum? Fill me in.
Broken Destiny.
Oh, okay. That one's been out for a bit.
nice name. Oh, nice, nice.
Broken Destiny is a ballad. Very kind of. We kind of wanted to. It was a bonus track on the first album that we kind of released last year, and we wanted to write a deep kind of emotional ballad, and then we actually are adding it onto this second album. So people who we had this really great idea to put an album on USB sticks, and when people came to the show, we handed them out to people. So people had the bonus track on the USB stick.
Not in a lot of
Um,
labor though.
it was a it
Not,
was an interesting decision, but it was pretty cool. I'm glad we did
yeah,
it.
yeah, that's the way. That's
And then last couple months, our another single was Legends in Stereo. Um, we decided that I think that personally, that one kind of defines the album. It's very, like I said, I kind of took the reins on this album. There's a lot of my influence on it, and I think Legends in Stereo is a perfect example of that. It's kind of 2000s driven guitar and punchy chorus.
I'm not gonna lie
And
to you, Dre. I've got like notes for each of the songs, and all I
perfect.
have all I have written next to Legends is Dre, Dre, Dre. So
Yeah. So
nice.
I'm right. So it's perfect. I remember when we started this album, I wanted to like because the first album we did with the guys that I did with these guys was kind of almost like an experimental album to see how I fit in and to see if we could actually do it. And it went very well. So this next one, I was like, I kind of want to take the lead here and get heavy on my influence, and they were very welcoming with that um, decision. And I think all the singles have a very 2000s influence, and which I like. So
I think
that's
this
my
came out early 2000s. I do. I do.
yeah, it's the best.
Uh but each timeline's got a spot. But what's what's been your biggest challenges as a band?
Ooh.
ooh, biggest challenge. I mean, like I would say I can't believe it's been this long already, but like I think COVID was a huge challenge,
Trying to get together.
and it forced us to get creative in ways that maybe we didn't anticipate. And I think we did about as well as a band could do given those circumstances, with the resources that we had available. Since then, I mean, I think it's been pretty smooth sailing. Bringing Dre on board has made a world of difference. As we get older, we've each got, such dynamic, lives outside of the band, and sometimes those aspects don't always align with everyone else's schedules. So you could look at it and say, like, there's an aspect of getting together and all being present at the same time. Like, that's been definitely a challenge, but I think that we rise to the occasion whenever something's kind of put in our way, and we're really supportive of each other. We're really willing to listen to each other's thoughts and, like, ideas when it comes to writing music and stuff like that. And I don't know. I just think it's a really good group of of friends and of people that I consider brothers, and just, it's not like something I look at and I go, like, oh, this is going to be tough, this is going to be hard, this is going to be a challenge. It's not really something that I think we look at it in that lens. It's just, there are tough times that you maybe don't realize until after the fact, and you look back and say, yeah, that was kind of hard to get through. But right now, I don't know. I correct me if I'm wrong, guys. Like, I think it's just.
No, I agree. Well said.
So,
I think another hidden challenge, and this I want to speak on everyone, not even just Ultimatum here. Being in Thunder Bay, being isolated super north, has a lot of difficulties in terms of kind of getting like seen and getting your music out there, just because of how north and isolated we are from. Like going back to the question about touring, I wasn't in the band at that time, but I can imagine how difficult it would have been planning something out of Thunder Bay to do like that. But
yeah,
I mean,
it's just the dynamics that you've all got separate lives, finding a
that,
moment,
yeah,
just be there to do this together. It's a big
yeah.
achievement and a task, Um, uh, what's something the industry taught you the hard way?
The industry, I think the biggest learning lesson for us is the industry isn't what it used to be, right? I think a lot of musicians need to break that illusion. That has to be completely smashed, because 70s, 80s, 90s, we all grew up, with a lot of influences. Then we watched a lot of documentaries. We learned the different players, and there's different styles, and the culture of music at the time, and that has completely shifted in the last 10 years. Pro and con, right? So I think that was a tough lesson, is because, good example of that would be artists aren't selling gold albums anymore. So it doesn't matter who you are, right? It doesn't matter if you're the number one pop artist. You're not selling a gold album, because albums aren't selling anymore, right? The ability to play albums is getting harder and harder, because there aren't CD players in cars, for example, right? So it's limiting in that respect. And I think, a lot of artists nowadays are living on the road. If this is a career path that they're looking at making, they don't have houses, they live on the road, and they make, income based on shows and merch sales. And streaming is a unique thing in itself, because streaming is what got us international recognition, right? But this was in 2014. This is when streaming platforms.
Really?
Yeah, this is when the streaming platforms, you needed label representation to have your music be featured on.
Wow, there was a
Yeah,
thing like that. Wow.
yeah. And we were very fortunate, because we just got signed that year, and we tell all of our friends our music is on Spotify, and it was like this big thing. And now everyone and their dog can upload music to
Yeah, that's what
Spotify.
it is.
You know,
Oversaturated voice.
you
Like, it
know.
used to be
So
like the golden wall. Like, how do people get there?
yeah, it was very, yeah, exactly. And and it's good. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, that everyone and their dog can upload music, but what that does is it creates this saturated music market, where now, how do you find? Yeah, how do you
AI
find?
is in the game now. It's just super saturated.
It's very AI. That's a great point. It's very strange. It's a very strange time to be an artist.
And
Um,
attention spans and music being delivered straight to their pocket, like it's
yeah,
hard
yeah.
to, yeah.
And I think what needs to happen, and I'm just speaking from my own perspective, is my suggestion would be for artists to write music that they love themselves.
And you
If
gotta
you
love it. Yeah.
you write art and create art that you believe in and you love, you already won, as far as I'm concerned. You are a successful musician, right? Because you can't have that preconceived idea that, oh, okay, well, our money isn't making what, bands used to make in the 60s or 70s, 80s, because that's just not a reality anymore. So the fact that we have listeners internationally and people who are heavily impacted by our music, and we can create this music together in our studio in Thunder Bay, Ontario, it's a blessing, honestly, right? And so I think it's just subverting expectations and understanding that, in the last 10 years, things have shifted pretty dramatically, and it's allowed a lot of new eyes, a lot of new different people and avenues to become aware of our music. Having said that, there's not a lot of profitability in those spaces. In order for artists to profit, they have to go on the road, and that has to be their sole aim and focus, and it's not very luxurious.
You gotta do this type of stuff. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So we
Business.
had to change our perspective slightly as the years, especially in the last 10 years. But it's allowed us, like I said, to have a pretty great reach on social media and, and everything else. So yeah, we've been fortunate.
Nice. Okay. We've got 8 more minutes. Do you want me to give you final questions, or do you want to come back for the last where we talk about future and legacy?
Can we just do maybe, because I think James has somewhere to be in
Yeah,
40
that's what I
minutes.
say. So we'll just stop it. So I will just ask you that now. I'll say, what can how can I close it off from there? Let me ask you, because I got an outro. I'll say, okay. Okay, quickly, you'll be if you could give your younger self advice, what would it be? Like as a unified question. Like, well, if you okay,
Don't stress the small things.
don't stress the small things. Yeah, yeah.
Dre is his younger self, though.
I am, yeah. I'm a lot younger.
Already in his-
I'm just a baby compared to them. Just kidding, guys.
Jimmy, what would you?
Make time for the big moments.
Yeah.
I love it.
Don't forget to smell the roses. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you have one?
Yeah, I guess mine would be.
Cam's full of wisdom. We're here for an hour.
Oh, I'll keep it short. I think my thing would be just everything is going to work out, right? Everything will be. Don't get too caught up in your own expectations, because things will actually shape out bigger and better than you imagined. That's what I would tell myself.
Yes.
So.
Yes, I believe that too. But guys, thank you so much. Big love to Ultimatum. Did I say right? Yeah.
Yeah, you got it.
For coming through today. Make sure you tap in and check out their music and stay locked in for what's coming next. This is just the beginning. Until next time, stay creative, stay consistent, and keep building your sound. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, appreciate it.
I know it's not.
to whom it may concern. Another life, a lesson learned in the darkness of your mindset. Tell my mother that I tried. Show my father that he lied when he walked out for the last time. Bought a house, I found a wife. Didn't need you to survive. Had no time to even pass by. Sold your life, you lost your son. When my life has just begun, staring out this empty window. You dealt these dirty cards, time to play them as they lie. Had to fight against the odds, trying to remember why. Time has come, it's been so long. Show your face, I did no harm till the end and from the start. Yes, the world wants us apart. Since the start, I taught myself Mom was right, no need to dwell. As you stare out that barred window, you're an orange, I'm in blue. You let the bottle fall right through, and you swapped it for your freedom. Face to face between the glass, 20 years flew by so fast. Just a memory for my past. As my letter comes to end, against the odds I will not bend. Signing off here for the last time. You were dealt these dirty cards, time to play them